Hello, everybody, and I'm really sorry about this connection problem. This is the first time, that happened for me. And I really don't know what happened, but we are going to continue from where she left when she comes. Really sorry about it, and I hope you can hear me clearly. Really sorry about it. When she comes, we are going to start where she left. I'm really sorry about it. This is the first time happening in teacher talks, such things. So I'm really sorry about it. Maybe because of the rain. I don't know, but I'm. Hello?
Hi, I'm back again.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, hocam, can you hear me?
No, yes, I am. I'm really
Okay.
sorry about the situation, and this is the first time happened.
Oh, you
uh,
can. Well, hocam, I think, I kind of jinxed it. I said I love the rain, but this is what happens when it rains too much.
I'm really sorry about it. Maybe it's better if we just recover it some points like about
Okay,
uh, your favorite moment or experience in
okay,
your own education.
okay.
So sorry about it.
Okay. No. I'm going to say it again. Well, my favorite moment, as I said, was not long ago. That was not when I was in elementary or junior high or high school. It was actually when I started doing, well, I restarted doing my MA. Because I don't know if you guys catch that, but I mean, if you caught that, but I kind of delayed finishing my MA for like 10 years because I could not decide on a proper thesis. I just couldn't decide
Yeah,
on it. I mean, whatever I did, it just was not me. So years later, like back like 2 years ago, I'm gonna say kulakları çınlasın. Well, Kenan Gita, she said, you have to sit down and write your thesis. I said, I have to, but I have a baby, and my son was like 4 months old then. And he said, okay, you're gonna come down to my office every single day for 2 months. I'm gonna babysit your son, and you are gonna finish your thesis. And that was another learning point for me,
wow.
both as a student and a teacher, because I was like, would I do this for my student? I mean, he sat down for 2 months and he looked after my baby so that I could write my thesis. I mean, that was amazing. And that was even when I said, I really love this job. This is a passion. Teachers teach from the heart. It's not just a job that we do. So it was a learning moment both ways, as a student and as a teacher as well.
As a teacher,
And
it's really
yeah, I can see the comments there. Some people say Kenan Dikita, yes, and I know people know him, and I'm going to say hi to him as well because he taught me a very good point. So that was also another learning point, which I linked to my teaching. You can never say that you are done. You can't say that you
Mhm,
have learned it all. You may have mastered the subject, maybe the language itself, but teaching
exactly.
from the heart, I mean, really teaching, have you mastered it all? Nope. I learned that there's no limit for us teachers to do for our students in the classroom.
Exactly. Wonderful. And I'm sure that Kenan Hoca, he is one of the best. Uh,
He
yeah,
is.
he did. So I saw that many people, when you mentioned the Kenan Hoca, they just send some heart and smile
Yes.
like this. Great. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful
Yeah.
moment.
Thank
Thank you
you. Yeah, I would love. I liked sharing that though. Thank you. Thank you.
very much, Duygu Hocam. And Duygu
Thank you.
Hocam, in my another one is about your current business. Like, can you tell us about your current business and what kind of things you are doing there?
Okay. I work for UES, as you said, which stands for Unlimited Educational Services.
Mm-hmm.
We are a huge company, as we all know. It's a publishing company, both for digital products and print books. But my position here is to be a teacher trainer and an educational consultant. So what do I do basically is I try, when
Mm-hmm.
we say teacher trainer, I mean, I can't say that I'm 100% happy with that term, but I can say I'm a person that shares experience rather than training people, because I do believe that you can't teach anyone anything unless they want to. So what I do
Mm-hmm.
is I teach my experiences in workshops and in sessions in how to do certain stuff and what I do. in my lessons. And
Yes.
one other thing I do is I'm also an educational consultant here. Well, in this position, I try to closely investigate and have a look at
Mm-hmm.
the schools to see what kind of a curriculum they can do, or if they need any support with testing and assessment, how we can actually
Yes.
uplift some skills for that school. Because as we all know, a trainer, a teacher, the principal, we are all there for the learners. So basically my position is to help teachers upskill some of the, let's say, skills they want to work on by
Mm-hmm.
sharing my own experiences, and be an education consultant by looking at schools, how we can help them in other ways, and maybe even trying to match them with certain products, trying to give some tools to teachers in the way that they want to continue their curriculum.
I see. I see. Thank you very
It's a
much.
it's a it's a
Thank you.
live business. You get to see many people, and it's also a learning point. So why I chose this job? Yes, I like the position, but number two, I'm still learning. I'm learning from schools. I'm learning for the teachers that I met from. So it's still learning for me.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you, Duygu hocam, about it. We are still learning, all of you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
And so, Duygu hocam, when you don't, when you know that when the lockdown started, and we were also like the teachers were told to do, the online teaching, as you know that, and all of us, suddenly we became stressed, like, oh, we're going to do online teaching. What are we going to do? Something like this, and we are probably more relaxed and the organized while teaching online. But I think there were two groups about this, like teachers, like during the pandemic, and the ones who simply lectured and moved on they believed in this way, like was a temporary situations, it will end soon, and the other one who tried to use millions of digital tools, like to engage students. And do you have any suggestions about the usage of digital tools in this case?
I must say that, as you said clearly, hocam, when everything happened back in March 2020, what we did was
Yeah.
probably called a crisis teaching. I mean, all of us were in a panic, and maybe like me, many people met Zoom for the first time in their lives. I mean, it was the very first time I was like, what is Zoom? I mean, and soon it became a verb in my life. I'm Zooming. I'm Zooming every day. I have a Zoom meeting. And then we all, started, when I say we, I mean all the teachers, we started looking everywhere to to use digital tools. What can we use? I mean, we started looking for online reading. We started looking for listening. We started to look at tools to integrate our students more into our lessons. But
Mm-hmm.
then I have to be honest, I think at some one point, this just got out of hand. I mean, most of us, we started throwing in all these, popular just online tools in our lessons, sessions.
Yeah.
But then what about the students? I mean, I think our motto should be less is more. Perhaps while we are working with some of the digital tools, focus on a couple of them and train
Mm-hmm.
your learners to use them. Once they master those, the
Yes.
ones that you want to show them, then move on to another one. Because in a panic situation, that's what the brain does. I mean, you just start to run over everywhere. But I think less is more. So my advice would be, if you have a couple of strong ones, maybe a very good one to start your
Mm-hmm.
lesson, something as a brain teaser, maybe something to spice up your language lessons, something to spice up your reading lessons, maybe something to finish your lesson, but not just, throwing all the digital tools to our learners, because those poor kids, they're also trying to catch up with us. So I have to
Exactly.
say, less is more. Just put them in time, do them slowly, let your students learn them, master them, and then move on to the new ones. Because there are loads, and I think we can't even finish. I mean, it's just unlimited number of digital tools around us.
Yeah, I see. Thank you very much, Duygu. And my
Thank
next
you.
question is about workload, teachers, especially teachers' workload. And
Mhm.
I'm sure that you are going to say a lot about this. Teachers, as you know, that we have a huge workload. And our duties take more time, especially with the distance educations, than it takes in face-to-face classes. And moreover, also maybe the parents are more involved in this process now. And what would you suggest to us? I mean, maintain our well-being. And also, could you give any tips in terms of balancing our workload?
Yeah. I totally agree with you that the workload is tremendous. I mean, it's quite a lot. So the teachers who are watching this, I would like you to give yourselves a big round of applause because you are doing a lot. So you have to start by giving
Yep.
yourself a big round of applause because you guys are doing a lot. I mean, you're supporting yourself, your mental health, and your students' mental health, as well as the administration, as well as the parents, even grandmas and grandpas who are watching live lessons. And we have learned a lot. What we have learned is we have opened our houses up. I mean, we have opened our private. So what I'd like to say is we have to, no matter what. I know that people find time for yoga, maybe reading books, Netflixing, I mean, painting, cooking. But my top number one suggestion would be find yourself minimum 10-15 minutes of offline time.
I
Just we
see.
have to do this. I mean, because being offline is the new luxury. Yes, you could just run to your kitchen, maybe do some cooking, but it is real luxury to be offline now. And just, if, I mean, I know I don't want to differentiate among genders here. I know that there are mothers who are working and dealing with kids and, housework and everything, but I'm pretty sure just
Yes.
10 minutes, 15 minutes, find some offline time for yourself because this is important for your well-being. In order for you to have a healthy mind, you need to do this. We need to do this for ourselves. So my number one top 10 is give your luxury of 10 minutes, 15 minutes offline time. Maybe one 10,
Wonderful.
15 minutes in the first half and one 10 minute, 15 in the second half of the day. But we have to do this.
I see. So thank you. It's a,
So
it's a, it's
that
a
was,
great
thank you for
suggestion.
this. That's a nice question.
Okay, thank you very much. Duygu hocam, my other question, next one is about the course books. This is one of the the important thing, I think, in our world. I mean, like in education, in ALT world. So, that most of the schools, like, seem addicted to the course books, as we know that. And however, during the lockdown, I mean, most of the students, they couldn't reach their course books as they had left them at school. So some of them had a chance to get it, but some of them didn't have a chance to get it. So therefore, teachers had to find or, the creating new materials to teach. And I think it was a great opportunity for teachers, especially, to define the place in like where course books stood in our life. Do you think the course books are essential component for our lessons? And another one is like the question is, what is their place in education?
Okay. So let me recap it from your last sentence, rephrase it, because you asked me if they are essential components. I'm going to say they are one of the main components, probably. The reason why is, yes, during this pandemic, what happened is all the teachers, I think we have all discovered our potential. The
Yeah.
potential of exploiting materials. I think this was something that we had been working on for many years. Rather than just using books, scrolling through the pages, going, page 1 done, page 2
Yes.
done. It was something that we worked on for many years, exploit the material. So maybe one good thing about this was this pandemic taught us without books, but still we found materials and we found ways of exploiting them. So I do believe that still course books have a place in education because it's just like digital tools. It's one good quality print tool for us teachers. It just helps
I
us
see.
to, it also guides us. Where are we starting? Where are we going? But the thing that you said at the beginning struck my attention. You said most schools seem to be addicted. We don't have to be addicted to the books. I think as teachers, we should be able to exploit them in the way to meet our outcomes, our objectives, which come from the needs of the learners. So yes,
I see.
they are one of the components, but they are not at the heart of teaching. But we do need them because we need some sort of material to get our learners going. But on the other hand, I do believe that most of us, maybe 99.9 of us percent of us, have the ability just to go into a classroom, set foot into a classroom with one board marker, one chalk, and continue teaching. But to have our learners get exposed to different types, different texts, that's where we need them. I mean, okay, if my learners always hear my accent, that's not enough. I mean, I need my book so that I can help my learners hear a different pronunciation, a different type of text, a different type of writing. So I do believe they are one of the components.
I see. Thank you very much, Duygu hocam, for this nice answer.
Thank you.
Okay, so my other question is about the professional growth. Like, as you know that we have still, I mean, we have lots of chances for webinars, to attend webinars during the pandemic period, and we still have them. No, except for webinars. Or seminars, online webinars. What can we do for our professional growth in this pandemic period?
Okay, there are loads and loads of webinars or conferences, like global conferences, national conferences, and webinars. And I do truly believe that these are very, very useful because learning never ends. But my other idea was, how about also reading about human psychology? Not only for our profession, but it doesn't have to be online, but you could take an online course as well, but just moving just a little bit away from the ELT world and reading about psychology as well. Because I think we have to start thinking about the next academic year when all the learners are back in the classroom. So we will not only be teaching a language, but we will also be dealing with their psychology. So I do believe that in order to work on our professional growth, we should also be reading books on psychology as well, maybe articles, attending an online course. But I do believe that human psychology is something we all have to work on, not only ELT. I can see the comments down there and people say, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it, next year when all those students come back, can we just go into classroom and start the year with alphabet or colors or shapes or present simple tense? I'm not really sure. I think we should be starting with human psychology. So that's my learning point. And yes, one of our teachers says emotional intelligence as well. Yes, that's one of my learning points. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to feed myself and get ready for the upcoming year when I see teachers real flesh and blood in sessions. But I'm going to definitely be starting with psychology. I'm looking forward to that day.
Yeah, it's wonderful, Duygu hocam. I think we should read also something about the psychology of the students and the work environment, something like this. Okay, thank you.
Exactly. Yep.
So, Duygu hocam, for you as a teacher trainer, what are the characteristics of effective language teachers?
I would definitely start by saying a good communicator. I mean, a person who can speak well, but also who knows to listen well as well. Why is listening more important? The more you listen to your learners, the more you get the needs. Because as a language teacher, we are teaching not only the language, but also the culture. And we expect our learners to personalize it. How can they personalize a different culture if we don't know how they can?
I see.
So we need to be effective, good communicators. Definitely have good subject knowledge. I mean, know your stuff when you're going into classroom, but never be ashamed of saying, I don't know. And of course, know your learners, the audience you're dealing with. That I would say these three components make up a good, effective language learner.
I see.
Probably.
Thank you. Thank you for this one. And so my other question, Duygu hocam, what do you suggest, again, as a teacher trainer, what do you suggest to the teachers to establish an effective rapport with the students? But actually, now we are, in online education, so maybe it is a little bit difficult for us, than face to face. So for this one, what can you say about this?
Well, I'm going to start by saying the very cliche one. Although it is online, first of all, please listen to your learners. In order to listen to your learners, we need to get our learners speaking in our lessons. So, number one,
Mm-hmm.
we should also learn their names. I mean, yes, we are working online, we are teaching online, but we need to learn our names. And number two, if we want to listen to our learners, if we want to hear our learners, we need to create a safe environment in our classroom. So an
I see.
environment where we allow learners, when we encourage our learners, when we motivate our learners to participate in our lessons through different activities so that we
Mm-hmm.
can build trust, to have a good rapport. And if you let me give you an example. Think about this situation. You want your learners to do a presentation because it's in the book, because the administration says so, because it's a project. They have to do an oral presentation. How many people can truly turn on their cameras and do something in front of a camera without trust? I mean, let's just think about it. It's impossible. Or we're asking our students to speak with their peers in our online lessons. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know each other. They don't trust each other. So it's as teachers, it's our job to create the safe environment,
Right.
starting little, encouraging them, letting them, well, we also need to make sure that our learners are a part of the learning process, which means
Mm-hmm.
give them some control. I mean, for 20 years, I've been hearing this word, learner autonomy. Okay, now it's the time. Give some autonomy to your learners. Let them be a part
Autonomy.
of your teaching. Ask them, ask them what they want to
Exactly.
learn. Ask them how they want to learn. Ask them. I mean, you could have a student who says, I didn't do my project. The second time, I didn't do my project. Why not ask that student? Maybe he or she is shy. Maybe we can find an alternative task. And then ease that student into our classroom. Because
Mm-hmm.
especially in, these video environments, safe environment, a trust issue has to be solved before everything. So I would say create a safe
I
environment
see.
for your learners.
I see. Thank
I
you very
did
much,
say
Duygu
I
hocam.
did say I like talking a lot, right? I did say that at the beginning. I'm
No
pretty sure.
problem. It's
I
great.
did say that.
No, it's
I
great.
did say
It's
that.
really great to listen to you. Especially your suggestions and your ideas. It's really, precious for us. Thank you very
See,
much.
hocam, you
Uh,
have created a nice environment so that I trust you and I'm here. See,
that's why. Yeah, it's
you
very
have
good
built.
example for
Yeah.
that one.
See,
Yeah,
see.
it's
So
a
I'm
great
sharing my
example.
home. I'm in my kitchen.
Exactly.
I'm your host. See, and then we have a trust environment.
Yeah, as you said, you are right. This is a safe environment for both of us. Okay, so Duygu
It
hocam,
is. It is. It is.
what is that? There's a say, saying that teachers are even ashamed of their changing voice. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Because see, my voice here, I mean, even it changes, and I know that sometimes some teachers are even, ashamed or embarrassed to turn on their cameras as well. See,
Hmm.
it's a two-way thing. Always make sure that you have just like face-to-face classrooms, we do build
I
that
see.
in our classrooms. Why not online? I think we can do that.
Yeah, you are right. Thank you, Duygu hocam. And my next question about mixed ability classes. Uh, what strategies would be effective to handle mixed abilities classes in learning English as a foreign language?
Um, well, I remember one of my trainers back when I did CELTA, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, like zillion trillion years ago. Uh, she said that when you're dealing with a mixed ability group, you have to be like a magician who takes out that rabbit out of the hat. So you
I
have
see.
to be equipped well in your lesson. What do I mean by that? You have taken a worksheet to your classroom, either online, either face to face. But when you take that worksheet to your classroom, you have to think about the people who are going to be, coming, a little bit from the back, and you're going to have people who are running at the front. How are you going to
Mm-hmm.
combine those people? So always make sure that you have one one type of lower activity and one type of higher activity, you know, one for the early finishers and one for the students who need more help. You have to be equipped with that. It may not seem so easy now, especially in the online environment, but I do believe that with the help of digital tools, we can. What do I mean? Let's say you are using Kahoot, the famous Kahoot, right? This
Yeah.
Kahoot thing we have all around the world now. Why not have easy questions, average questions, and some really difficult questions? In this way, you can give this sense of achievement to all of to your students, right? Know them. You know who can do what.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So please make sure that as a teacher, you are equipped. Now, there was one question that I saw. One of our teachers said, how is it possible to make it different from characters? Well, perhaps some students might be shy. What I mean is, for some activities, you might want your learners to be in front of the camera and speak. But there will be
Yes.
some learners who are introvert. They may not be so, they won't be so willing and could be shy to turn on their cameras and do a presentation. Then you can make use of, you know, Padlet. They
Mm-hmm.
can express themselves on Padlet and write on it, or maybe open up a Google document. Let that learner participate in that activity in a different way. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I meant
Exactly.
when I said try to have a couple of different ideas with you. And if you know your learners, you will know that Aisha and Fatma won't be really willing to turn on their cameras and do a 1 minute presentation. Ask them to send the video. They won't be liking to do
Yes.
it live. Or you will say that Mehmet doesn't want to speak in front of his friends because he is, you know, embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
of his pronunciation. Let that person reflect on it in a written way. Give that person some
Way,
time. So
exactly.
differentiation is going to be very important. And of course, as we all know, the type of
Exactly.
activities we take in the classroom, they have to be coming from the needs of the learners, even if as a teacher you are bound to use a
Mhm.
textbook. You have your
Exactly.
textbook, but the differentiation part, you can take that. You can do that. Either use a tool or ask them. Simply ask your learners. They will give you the answer. I mean, even in some training sessions, I ask them prior to the session, do you want cameras on? Can I use cell phones? And in some of my sessions, I don't want people to talk. I want them to take a piece of paper and write on it and just, you know, show that. Why not? Different type of activities for online lessons as well
I
could
see. I
cater
mean,
for
like,
this.
yeah, great. I mean, like, you mean we should give them a choices to choose. I mean, exactly, to make
Yeah,
them more relaxed and comfortable, and then
exactly.
they automatically join the lessons if it's in the way that they want. I mean,
Yeah, especially in online lessons, if there's always one high achiever learner who's always dominating the lesson. I mean, the the less achievers, I don't really want to call those students less achievers, but the students who need more help, they're just going to be more and more embarrassed, and they won't be
hmm
able to, you know, they won't be able to join your lesson. So why not give them an option? Why not give them an alternative? I mean, just make use of digital tools. Okay,
I see.
everybody doesn't have to. I mean, think about your own language. Did everybody start speaking at the
hmm
same time? No,
No,
everybody
of
needs
course.
their own time. So just create that environment, and you will see that the less achiever students and the higher achiever students, they are going to meet in the average. Just give it a try.
Okay, I'm sure that next time we will all try it. If we haven't done it yet, probably we will do it
If
after this
not,
time. Okay, thank you,
that's
Duygu hocam.
nice.
Uh, Duygu
Thank
hocam,
you.
my next question is this. Does the learning process actually matter, or is it all about the achievement of outcomes? What do you think?
Hmm. How about a metaphor? Doesn't the journey
Right.
also matter as well as the destination? Why not? The journey
Yeah,
does
why not?
matter, because what really happens until you get to your destination is also the process. So I do think that the learning process actually matters, because the path your learners
Mm-hmm.
take and the path you take is what takes you to the achievement of the outcome. Now, a question is this. As a teacher, let's give an example. You give a reading text to your students, okay? And you
Okay.
get all the answers, A, B, and they're all correct. Am I sure that everybody was on the right track? Did everybody get it correct because they did it? Or did everybody get it correct because they cheated? So I do believe
Mm-hmm.
that the process is what grows us and
I
leads
see.
us to a better way, I would say. So the destination, yes, but the journey itself is also very important.
Is important also. I see.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you,
yeah,
Duygu hocam.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And Duygu hocam, my next question is this. What do you find most frustrating and rewarding about teaching? Hello?
Okay. Rewarding about teaching is I'm here, I'm here,
Okay,
I'm here.
okay.
Okay. Uh, what's most rewarding about teaching is the feedback you see, not the feedback you get. We all get
Ah,
feedback from our administration, our students, our parents, everybody. But I think the rewarding one is the feedback you see. What do I mean? If you see your learner, if you see your student at a very nice position, speaking English very well or that language very well, that's your feedback. If your ex-student invites you to his or her wedding, that's a rewarding feedback. See, you made it to their lives. So it's actually the rewarding thing is the feedback that you see, not what you get. In terms of something frustrating, I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything frustrating about teaching. I think it's I mean, when I think about teaching, I always um, associate it with positive things. So I'm
I
sorry, I
see.
don't know if there's anything frustrating about it.
No, it's okay. No problem. It's okay, of course. Whatever
Okay.
you say. All right. No frustrating things. All right then. So, Duygu hocam, my next question is about the students that you had before. I mean, like in your teaching times. Like who was the most difficult students you have had, and how did you deal with the problem with that student? Don't give a name, just if you have
I
it to
won't.
explain. Okay.
Um, well, one of the most difficult, um, well, that's one of the most difficult memories that I have in my teaching is a student who never spoke or participated, always slept in the class at the back of the row. This was, of course, in face-to-face lessons. But whenever I have to say he, sorry, whenever he spoke, he challenged me. So he was just unhappy with things, and this
Mhm.
started to demotivate me. So what I did after a while was in pair work activities, I started to pair up myself with him, but not in a very open way. I didn't say, I'm going to be your partner. I said,
Mhm.
oh, okay, so we are the last two people, so I'm going to be your partner. So I let the student open up to me, because apparently I do believe that we should not label students, but you can label their actions, but not them. So if there is a problem, there's always an underlying reason. And unless you find that underlying reason, it's impossible. And the only way is to listen to them. This is going to take time.
I see.
It's not an easy process. And it sometimes crushes you because you're like, I don't know how to
Mhm.
get to that person. So, number one, keep calm, because that's a
I
human
see.
being you're dealing with. Number two, don't label your learner, please. You can label the action,
Mhm.
but not the learner. That's a
Not
person,
this.
that's a human being in front of you. So try to listen to that person. And with this learner, at the end of a year, we finally understood what happened. I'm not going to talk about it in depth, but the way we
Mhm.
solved it was I really got my students to trust me, because I would just respect his boundaries. I never gave up. I said, would you like to do this question? He said, no. Okay, all right. Would you like to come to the board? He said no again. But I never confronted him. I always respected his boundaries. And in one way or another, one day he said, hocam, I keep saying no. Why are you just, dealing with me? I said, I know you have the potential. I'm just patiently waiting for you to show that potential. So I have the patience. I don't mind. I'll wait. And it took me a year, an academic year. But in the end, he's in a very good position now. He's a very good student at university now. I'm quite
Wonderful.
happy for him. So I would say listen to that person patiently. Never ever label that person. Never.
I see. Great one. Congratulations then with that student.
Thank you. It takes patience though.
Yeah, I see. Thank you, Duygu hocam. And Duygu
Thank
hocam,
you.
my next question about the 21st century. Like, do you think that the current way of education, actually educating children fully prepares them for the needs of the 21st century?
Well, we all now know that when we look at job opportunities and the 21st century skills, we know that analytical thinking, complex problem solving, leadership qualities, stress tolerance, interpersonal communication skills, and able to express yourself are the key skills that we should be teaching our learners. At the moment, we are trying hard to keep up with these,
Hmm.
but
I see.
I do believe that, 100%. I can't say 100% even in what I am doing, but I can say that maybe yes, 50, 60% we're actually achieving this. But once we
Hmm.
come together with our learners, it's going to be better. But I'm not sure we can say 100% because uh, it's going to be almost a year now, and I can say that now we are ready and we are on the go for online teaching. So it is going to take time. It did take time. From now on, yes. But in the past 1 year, I think we may have to work to make up for that year as well.
I see. Thank you very much. Thank you very
That
much.
was
I hope it
quite
will.
honest.
No problem. It's great. It's great. And Duygu hocam, uh, for you, for you,
Mhm.
what does an educated person mean?
Ah, an educated person who can think clearly, decide independently, I would say.
Mhm.
Thinking clearly, you can think clearly if you are confident, and you can decide independently if you know what you are doing. So I would say a person who can think clearly, decide independently, and has a good judgment is an educated person.
I see. Thank you very
Because
much. The, mhm.
to think clearly, you should know. You should be knowledgeable, but
Hmm.
not only in your field. Yes, we are teachers, but we need to learn about geography. Yes, we're English teachers, but we know about history because we do teach them in CLIL, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
See, so it's not only your field, but what the other disciplines around your job profession as well is also important.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And
You're
Duygu hocam,
welcome.
my next question is how do we help actually how should we help our students to discover their passion or potential?
I think most of the teachers I've seen, maybe 100% of the teachers I've seen, we are already very good at this because
Yeah.
we give tasks to our learners to help them personalize. So when you look at the way learners personalize tasks and when you give them projects and let them do the project in the way that they want
Mhm.
to, we're actually helping them find out their potential. Because if you sometimes let them choose, you will see clearly that some of them will do something visual, some of them will do something auditory, others will do something kinesthetic. So that's one way. Giving them personalized tasks that they can personalize. One other thing I do believe is letting your students write or guiding your learners write reflective paragraphs, essays, blogs, depending on the level you're teaching. How about integrating reflection and reflective tasks in your lessons or curriculum, let me say. Because the more, I mean, even for us as a teacher, unless
Yes.
you reflect on your performance, you won't know where you're going. So that's also very important. And finally, I would say that, I mean, we should let our learners express themselves freely. Yes, I know that it's school, it's formal education. We have boundaries and we have limits and we have standards for projects and assignments and tasks. But don't we think that, because if we say that we're teaching 21st skills and the four famous four C's, one of them is creativity, why not give
Exactly.
some room for even in your maybe assessment criteria, grids, creativity, something out of the box, push them. Just sometimes give them a little push on the back and let's see what they can do. And I'm pretty sure they'll be able to, you know, find out about themselves as well. I mean, if you're working with like K8 students, they don't know they don't really know about themselves. We should let them discover, reflect on their performance as well.
All right.
And
Okay.
reflect, definitely reflect.
Reflection. Thank you very much. It's
Yeah.
great. Thank you, hocam. And
Thank
wow,
you.
we are almost coming, the end of our the sessions and the questions also. So only two more questions left. And the
Okay.
first one, what do you think about the future of language education, Duygu hocam?
I think it's going to be much more important. And when we say language education, I don't only mean English, because as English teachers, and maybe we have some modern language teachers with us here tonight as well, you know, the more we, let's say, help our learners and motivate them to learn one language, they're going to be motivated to learn another one. The world is becoming global. Jobs are becoming global. So the future is quite bright for language learning and for language learning teachers as well. It's going to be much more important than it is now, but not only for English, definitely for modern languages as well.
I see.
And I would also like to say this. As an English teacher, why not learn a second language and be a model to your learners?
Yeah,
Just a
you're
food for
right.
thought for night. Why not?
Which one? Which one do you suggest to learn for us?
Well, I don't know. Anything that you might like. Maybe, I mean, my second language is Italian because I find it quite harmonic.
Oh,
I like the way it sounds.
I
That's
see.
why I chose that one. But I mean, depending on what you like or where you want to visit, maybe after this, COVID-19 thing, whichever country you would like to
Ah,
go to, that could be a
yeah, especially
motivation.
we
Why
have.
not?
Yeah, it's gonna be a really great, the chance for us to work on a new language,
Why not?
especially
Why
this
not?
pandemic area.
Why not? Just try it out.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
why not do what we preach to our learners? We tell them to download all these applications from their cell phones to learn English. Try it out with a beginner level French, beginner level Spanish. Try it out. I mean, you can put yourself into the shoes of your learners as
Yeah.
well.
There's also written that, or for Georgians, you can learn it. If you want to visit there, why not? It's a nice.
Maybe.
Okay, so you go, Jam. The last question and of
Okay,
the
I'm ready.
teacher talks. Yeah.
Oh my,
And
time already.
what is your motto?
Well, I actually have two. Okay.
Okay.
One of them is be the person you needed when you were younger. I really like
Mm.
this. I mean, so you need to be the person you needed. Think about that. And the second one is by Einstein. I'm pretty sure people know this, but I really like this because he said, education is not learning of facts, but the training the mind to think. So
I
if
see.
you help your learners not to learn language formulas, but to
Uh-huh.
be creative and to think, there's no way they can't master a language.
I see. Thank you. They're very, very
Thank
nice
you.
mottos for us, and it's a great one to end of our sessions tonight. It's with Einstein.
Thank you.
Einstein. And Duygu hocam, before we end our teacher talks session tonight, so would you like to add anything else for this session?
No, I would like to thank you, hocam, and all the participants we have here today, because I know it's quite late and it's their own personal time. But I do believe that I saw one of the participants, Esin Çağlayan hocam. She mentions the word lifelong learning. I think it's something
Uh-huh.
very important. I mean, I do believe in lifelong learning, and I just always remember this Penny Ur. She said, one times, I mean, one experience times 20 years is not experience, but 20 different times for 20 years is our experience. So keep on learning. We're never done. Our job is just so, I mean, it's so nice. It's always changing. See, we didn't like Zoom, but we now love it. We are all
Of
now
course.
digital teachers. We
Yeah.
learned it. Yay to ourselves. And thank you very much for having me, Volkan hocam.
Okay. Thank you very much, Duygu hocam. That again, I would like to say that it's really great honor to have you here in this session, like 35th or Teacher Talk 35, and you were with us, and it was a really great one, and we had a really, the great time. Especially I had it. I'm sure that all the listeners and all the
Thank you.
guests, they had a great time
Yay.
here tonight. And thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your time, for your suggestions, for your ideas, and
Thank you.
I hope to see you face to face soon after this pandemic ends, and in the real, the seminars or webinars or wherever we can meet and talk face to face. And also, of course, I would like to say thank you for all the listeners here, and
Thank
they,
you.
as you said, that they spent their time here, their personal times, and it's great for us and for them to being with us. And that's all for tonight from Teacher Talks. And we will see each other again with the next sessions. I mean, on Monday at the same time and the same day. And so that's all for tonight. And good evening, wherever you are, and good morning. Maybe it's the morning time. And good morning to you, and good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. And thank you very much one more time. And peace, everybody, and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Nice. I hope to see you all
Bye.
in the future, face to face. Bye, hocam. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I hope. Bye bye.